So how should we think about mental illness? Well, there are some answers we could quickly dispense with. It used to be thought that severe mental illness was a result of demonic possession. If you read the Gospels, Jesus Christ wandered around a lot, met crazy people, and exorcised the demons from their bodies. It was a common way of thinking about craziness. We now believe that this is not true. What about, yes, it's not true. What about social deviance? Some people, including the psychiatrist Thomas Szasz, claim that when we label somebody as mentally ill, this is not a medical decision, it's rather a social decision designed to ostracize people who deviate from society's norms, to ostracize them and rid them of moral agency. It's not that we disagree with them, it's not even that we see them as evil, rather we see them as sick. And as such, we don't even have to accord to them the respect that we accord to criminals. Now, this is not entirely an unreasonable view. In many countries around the world, dissidents, people who argue against the state, are often determined to be mentally ill and thrown in asylums. Blacks in the United States who tried to escape from slavery were described as having a mental illness. Why would they want to do so unless they were mentally ill? Up until 1973, to be a homosexual, to be gay, would count in the official records of how we classify illness as being mentally ill. And many people saw this, and we see this now, not so much as reflecting a sort of unbiased medical analysis, but rather as reflecting biases that people have against gay people. And these are political and social and moral biases. They're not objective medical judgments. Even now, I've been recording every president that has been a president of the United States in my memory, including Bush and particularly Clinton, has been described by his opponents not merely as awful, evil, terrible, hate his policies, but as mentally ill. Every president at some point or another, some bright, intelligent person figures to call him a psychopath and put that in Time magazine. Now, put aside whether the extent to which these things are accurate, point being that we often use medical labels, particularly labels like psychopath, schizophrenic, delusional, to ostracize and pick out people we disagree with. At the same time, though, this is not entirely right. People go too far when they say there's no such thing as mental illness. Some people are mentally ill in a very real sense of illness, in the same sense we would describe somebody as physically ill if they were to have cancer. This illness damages their functioning. They cannot function well. They do not tend to be more creative or more productive or more vivacious. Rather, with very few exceptions, possibly some exceptions revolving around mania, as Dr. Nolan Huxama discussed, with very few exceptions, being mentally ill is just very bad for you in every possible way. Moreover, when people are treated, when people get better, they become more competent, happier, better able to participate in the work, and they do not choose to go back to their mental illness, suggesting that it really is illness in a serious sense.